Man, the Boston Celtics are really facing a crossroads right now. The team had such high hopes heading into the next season, but the news about Jason Tatum has thrown a wrench into every plan. Tearing your Achilles tendon is one of the worst injuries a basketball player can go through, and unfortunately, Tatum suffered it at a moment when he was absolutely in his prime. It's not just a setback, it's the kind of thing that forces an organization to rethink its strategy, its rotation, and frankly, its championship ambitions. The reality is harsh. Tatum is going to miss a significant chunk of time, and there's no way around that. The Celtics can hope, they can pray, but realistically, they aren't counting on him being back on the floor for any meaningful stretch next season. But here's the thing. There's reason for cautious optimism. Achilles injuries are serious, yes, but we've seen players bounce back from them before. The recovery timeline is long, often taking a full year before a player even starts to feel like themselves again. But age and work ethic can make a huge difference. Tatum is still young, still in his athletic prime, and more importantly, he has a style of play that doesn't rely solely on explosive, sudden movements. He's not a player who depends entirely on lightning-quick cuts or constant bursts of lateral speed to dominate games. His skill set is diverse: scoring, passing, reading defenses, and creating opportunities for himself and others. That versatility is what gives Boston hope that when Tatum does return, he can return to an elite level. Former Celtics legend Paul Pierce has weighed in, and his perspective is pretty interesting. Pierce isn't worried at all about Tatum's ability to come back. He points to other high-profile athletes who recovered from similar injuries and eventually performed at an elite level again. Think of Kevin Durant, for example. Durant tore his Achilles, spent an entire year rehabbing, and when he returned, he was still one of the most dominant players in the league. That's the kind of precedent that gives both the Celtics organization and the fans some hope. Pierce's confidence isn't blind optimism. It's based on real-world examples and an understanding of how elite athletes adapt their game after serious injuries. Still, the road back won't be easy. The rehab process for an Achilles tear is grueling. It's months of physical therapy, strength training, and careful monitoring of every step, every jump, every movement. Tatum isn't just going to show up and pick up where he left off. He's going to have to rebuild his body, rebuild his confidence, and mentally adjust to the fact that he can't push himself in the same way he used to. But if there's anyone in the NBA capable of handling that challenge, it's Tatum. His work ethic has always been elite, and he's surrounded by a support system in Boston that knows how to nurture a superstar. While Tatum is on the sidelines, the Celtics are forced to make hard choices. The roster is shifting, the front office is reshaping the team, and the championship window is temporarily narrowed. Moves that might have seemed minor in another year suddenly take on huge significance because the team is missing one of its cornerstones. Every addition, every trade, every rotation decision is colored by the fact that Tatum's not on the floor. And while he will still technically be part of the roster next season, even if only from the bench, the team is being realistic about what it can achieve without him in top form. From a statistical perspective, Tatum's absence is a huge blow. Last season, he averaged nearly 27 points per game, alongside almost 9 rebounds and 6 assists. Those are superstar numbers, and losing that kind of production is not something any team can easily replace. The Celtics will have to lean on their depth, get contributions from role players, and hope that young talent steps up. It's a test of the organization's culture and resilience, and it will also give fans a chance to see how the team adapts in the face of adversity. Yet, despite all the challenges, there's a silver lining. The Achilles injury, while significant, doesn't necessarily signal the end of Tatum's prime. Many players who have gone through similar injuries have returned not only to play at a high level, but to dominate again. It's about time, patience, and smart management of his minutes and workload once he comes back. The Celtics are not rushing him, and that cautious approach may be exactly what he needs to make a full recovery. In that sense, the long-term vision remains intact. Once Tatum is back at 100%, the Celtics will be able to compete for titles again, and he could very well reclaim the elite status he held before the injury. The mental side of this is just as critical as the physical side. For a player like Tatum, Confidence is everything. Coming back from major injury can be intimidating. Every step, every cut, every jump carries a psychological weight. But Tatum has always demonstrated a strong mindset and a competitive spirit. That resilience, combined with top-notch medical support and a structured recovery program, will be key factors in determining how quickly and effectively he returns to elite form. Meanwhile, the Celtics are navigating this transitional phase carefully. They're making roster adjustments, exploring opportunities to manage salary, and looking at ways to maintain competitiveness even without Tatum. Every front office decision is magnified because the margin for error is smaller when your superstar is sidelined. Young players will have to step into bigger roles, and veterans will need to provide leadership both on and off the court. It's a period of adaptation, and how the team handles this season could set the tone for when Tatum eventually returns. Ultimately, the story of Jason Tatum's recovery is about patience, trust, and belief. Patience because the process cannot be rushed. Trust because he has the support of medical staff, teammates, and the organization. And belief because at the end of the day, the talent, skill, and determination are all still there. Tatum's career is far from over, and the Celtics' long-term goals remain achievable. This is a chapter in the story, a challenge that tests everyone involved, but it's not the end of the narrative. While Jason Tatum focuses on his recovery, the Boston Celtics front office has been anything but idle. The organization is navigating a complex web of roster moves, trades, and salary considerations, all while trying to keep the team competitive and maintain flexibility for the future. Over the summer, the Celtics made some bold decisions that caught the basketball world by surprise. Key players who were central to their previous championship runs were moved or allowed to walk, signaling a shift in strategy and a willingness to take risks in reshaping the roster. One of the most notable moves involved trading away starters who had been integral pieces of the team's identity. Players who had contributed significantly to the Celtics' success were suddenly on the move, and the ripple effects were felt immediately. By letting certain veterans depart in free agency, the Celtics freed up cap space but also created gaps in their rotation that will need to be filled through either development or additional acquisitions. It's a delicate balance, because while shedding salaries provides financial flexibility, it also requires careful planning to ensure that the talent and experience lost are compensated adequately elsewhere. Among the new acquisitions, Boston opted for a mix of young prospects and veteran players willing to accept minimum contracts. The goal is clear: maintain a competitive roster without compromising the long-term financial structure of the team. Bringing in players with potential upside allows the Celtics to explore different lineups and rotations while keeping payroll manageable. At the same time, the team is mindful of the luxury tax and other financial thresholds that could impact future moves. Every signing and trade is calculated, weighing immediate contributions against the broader vision for the organization. It's not just about balancing finances, it's also about creating opportunities for development. Young players and role players will have chances to step into larger roles, gain valuable minutes, and showcase their abilities. This season, with Tatum sidelined, will be a proving ground for some of the team's lesser-known contributors. The Celtics are counting on these players to rise to the occasion, and there's a level of expectation that goes beyond mere participation. These athletes are being asked to perform at high levels consistently, and their growth will directly impact how competitive Boston can be in Tatum's absence. Trades remain a critical component of the Celtics strategy. The organization is actively listening to offers, evaluating potential moves that could both improve the team and manage salary obligations. Certain players have been identified as movable pieces, and the front office is exploring all options that could yield either future assets or more favorable financial flexibility. This approach reflects a broader trend in the NBA. Teams are constantly assessing how to balance talent, cap space, and long-term vision, and the Celtics are no exception. Every decision is a chess move, with implications that could ripple for multiple seasons. Meanwhile, fans and analysts are closely watching how these changes will affect the team's identity. Boston has always prided itself on its culture, toughness, and continuity, but this period of roster upheaval challenges that tradition. Integrating new players, adjusting rotations, and maintaining team chemistry are significant hurdles. The coaching staff will play a crucial role in smoothing transitions, managing egos, and ensuring that everyone understands their role within the larger system. Leadership, both from veteran players and the coaching staff, will be vital to keep the locker room cohesive, especially during a season without one of their biggest stars on the floor. In addition to internal adjustments, the Celtics are also monitoring the broader league landscape. Other teams are making moves, reshaping rosters, and positioning themselves to compete, which impacts Boston's own strategic decisions. The front office must weigh potential trades not only in terms of immediate gain, but also in terms of how those moves affect long-term competitiveness. Each transaction is evaluated on multiple levels: player talent, fit within the system, financial implications, and potential to either accelerate or delay the team's championship aspirations. One of the most fascinating aspects of this period is how it highlights the interplay between injury management and team building. Tatum's absence has created both challenges and opportunities. On one hand, the team loses a superstar and the production he provides. On the other hand, it forces the organization to innovate, experiment with different lineups, and give younger players experience that could pay dividends in the future. It's a delicate balancing act, but one that demonstrates the Celtics' commitment to thinking long-term while still striving to remain competitive in the present. The narrative of this season will be defined by adaptability. Players will need to embrace new roles. Coaches will have to adjust strategies, and the front office will continue making calculated decisions to optimize both performance and financial stability. The Celtics are in a transitional phase, a period that tests the resilience of the organization and the talent within it. Every game, every practice, and every roster adjustment carries weight, and the margin for error is smaller than in years when the team had all of its core players healthy. Ultimately, this chapter in the Celtics story is about evolution. It's about rethinking priorities, managing adversity, and preparing for a future in which Jason Tatum returns at full strength. The team's approach this season will influence not only the immediate standings, but also the trajectory for the next several years. By being proactive, strategic, and flexible, Boston aims to navigate the challenges posed by injuries, roster turnover, and league competition, positioning itself to reclaim a dominant status once all pieces are in place. Even in the face of uncertainty, there's an underlying confidence in the organization's long-term vision. The Celtics are not merely reacting. They're planning, calculating, and positioning themselves for sustained success. The combination of young talent, strategic veteran additions, and careful financial management creates a foundation that, while tested this season, could lead to a resurgence once Jason Tatum returns and the roster reaches its full potential. Every trade, every signing, and every decision is part of a larger puzzle, with the goal of restoring Boston to the upper echelons of the NBA. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Whispers have been circulating through the basketball world, and the latest murmurs suggest that the Boston Celtics have executed a lightning-fast move that could shake the landscape of the NBA. Rumor has it that the Celtics have secured the signature of RHENZ ABANDO, a name that has been generating increasing attention among scouts, analysts, and fan communities alike. This move, if confirmed, would not only mark a bold statement from the Celtics front office, but also signal a potential shift in the team's strategic approach for the upcoming season. Insiders suggest that the timing of this acquisition was as calculated as it was rapid, leaving rival teams scrambling to reassess their own plans. While official statements remain scarce, speculation is rife that Abando's arrival could translate into immediate fireworks on the court, with whispers of electrifying performances in training sessions hinting at a player ready to adapt and shine under the bright lights of Boston's basketball arena. Analysts are beginning to parse what this could mean for the Celtics' existing roster, debating how a newcomer like Abando might interact with seasoned stars and whether his integration could redefine offensive patterns. The anticipation surrounding this potential signing has ignited social media platforms, with fans dissecting every possible scenario and imagining the kind of high-octane spectacle that could result from a combination of talent, energy, and strategy. The intrigue surrounding RHENZ ABANDO's potential transfer to Boston has only intensified with reports of a rapid-fire signing, described by insiders as a move executed with unprecedented swiftness and discretion. Sources close to the situation claim that the Celtics management has been tracking ABANDO for months, analyzing his performances, tendencies, and adaptability across various competitive settings. Rumors suggest that the team has been quietly orchestrating logistics, navigating contractual nuances, and preparing marketing strategies that could capitalize on his arrival, all while keeping rival organizations unaware of their intentions. Basketball pundits have begun speculating about ABANDO's fit within the Celtics' current framework, wondering how his skill set could influence rotations, impact defensive schemes, and spark new offensive strategies. Enthusiasts online are dissecting highlight reels, debating whether his athleticism and versatility can translate immediately to the rigors of the NBA, and considering how his presence might elevate team chemistry in practice sessions and high-pressure games. The conversation has grown so pervasive that even casual observers are chiming in, questioning whether this rumored acquisition could accelerate the Celtics' championship ambitions. If the whispers hold true, ABANDO's arrival may represent not just a single-player addition, but a cultural infusion into a storied franchise, creating excitement, controversy, and an array of what-if scenarios that continue to reverberate across sports forums and fan communities, fueling speculation at every corner. Rumors surrounding the Celtics' audacious move have further intensified as whispers of ABANDO's impact on the court suggest an immediate spectacle, one capable of electrifying both fans and critics. Sources close to the team hint at a player who brings not only skill, but also a certain flair and charisma, potentially transforming practice drills into theatrical exhibitions and regular season matchups into high-energy showcases. Analysts have begun theorizing how ABANDO's rumored arrival might influence team dynamics, with speculation centered on his ability to integrate into pre-existing hierarchies while still asserting his presence as a game-changer. Conversations in sports media circles emphasize that the Celtics' strategy appears to hinge on immediacy, aiming to generate excitement and momentum from the outset rather than waiting for gradual development. Rumor has it that behind closed doors, coaching staff are envisioning rotations, pick-and-roll combinations, and fast-break scenarios that maximize ABANDO's presumed strengths. Social media chatter portrays fans oscillating between exuberant anticipation and cautious skepticism, dissecting every past performance, every highlight reel, and every potential matchup with rival teams. The underlying narrative circulating among insiders suggests that the Celtics may be positioning themselves as innovators, willing to gamble on rapid impact rather than slow integration, creating a storyline that could dominate headlines, locker room discussions, and fan debates as the season approaches. If these speculations are accurate, Boston could very well witness the arrival of a player who not only contributes points and assists, but also reshapes the atmosphere of the arena itself, adding layers of excitement and unpredictability. Beyond the tactical implications, the rumor mill surrounding RHENZ ABANDO's signing with the Boston Celtics has sparked broader conversations about marketability, fan engagement, and media hype. Observers speculate that the Celtics' decision to act decisively might be as much about generating buzz as about strategic on-court benefits. Sources intimate that the franchise may have recognized ABANDO's potential as a cultural and commercial asset, someone whose persona, play style, and narrative could attract attention across media platforms, drawing in younger fans and creating viral moments that extend beyond the traditional scope of basketball coverage. Analysts suggest that the timing of this rumored signing is particularly strategic, potentially designed to coincide with off-season promotions, preseason tournaments, or major league events, ensuring maximum visibility and excitement. Fans are reportedly already creating forums, memes, and discussion threads analyzing every conceivable scenario of ABANDO's participation, highlighting the level of anticipation surrounding his potential debut. Insider chatter hints at high expectations, with Boston's management possibly envisioning a marketing strategy that intertwines on-court performance with community appearances, media interviews, and social campaigns, amplifying the sense of immediacy and spectacle. This blend of athletic promise and media-savvy positioning, if the rumors hold true, suggests a calculated approach designed to generate a multifaceted impact, one that resonates with both purists of the sport and a broader entertainment-hungry audience, ensuring that ABANDO's rumored arrival is not merely a roster addition, but a full-fledged headline-grabbing event with far-reaching implications. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.